Welcome back to your nightmares, my children. This is Mr. Midnight speaking. I welcome you all to my creepy album of creepy pictures. So sit down and let me show you some terrifying pictures that have scary backstories. Today, I will be showing you these pictures, so buckle up and let me feast on your fears and sorrows. So let's begin, and always remember, the darkness always follows. I will now leave you with my narrator, so enjoy.
Omagh bombing, 1998. In this picture, a man smiles for a photo, wearing a bright yellow jumper with his equally smiley son hoisted on his shoulders. There are a couple of excited Spanish tourists visiting the town of Omagh in Northern Ireland. They stand in front of an innocuous red car on a busy street. The year is 1998, and that red car was with around 500 pounds, 226 kilograms of fertilizer based explosives that would detonate moments after the photo was snapped. It was a terrorist attack orchestrated by the Real Irish Republican Army, Real IRA, a splinter group from the IRA that did not agree with the ceasefire that the IRA had agreed upon earlier that year. The explosion would kill 29 people, injure 220, and spark national and international outrage. The two in the photo would miraculously survive, though the photographer would unfortunately die. Dutch girls of Panama. In this photo, two young women pose for a selfie in front of the wild nature of Panama. The two girls are Chris Kremers and Lisanne Fruit, Dutch travelers who are hiking the Alpianista Trail. They set off for their hike on April the 1st at 11 am. Unfortunately, on the 2nd, they did not turn up for an appointment, and the parents of the girls stopped receiving the daily texts they had been getting in the past. On April the 6th, the parents arrived in Panama along with a full police search. The forest would be combed for 10 days. Nothing was found. 10 weeks later, a woman handed in a blue backpack. The backpack belonged to Froon, and inside were personal belongings, including a camera and their phones. The phones had evidence of emergency numbers having been dialed only hours after the girls started their hike, but due to the lack of reception, the calls did not connect. Froon's phone died on April the 4th, and Kremer's phone would be turned on intermittently between the 5th and the 11th, but the incorrect PIN was entered, or no PIN was entered each time. On the camera, 90 flash photos were taken between 1 and 4 am in complete darkness deep within the jungle. One disturbing image shows the back of Kremer's head with blood on her hair. 2 months after the backpack was discovered, a pelvis and a foot inside a boot were discovered, along with other remains. These were later DNA tested and confirmed to belong to Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. What happened to them remains a mystery today. So what do you think happened to these two women, and what was their fate? Was there a killer loose in the forest, or did someone eat them for lunch? Write down in the comments what you think, because this is very creepy. Jolee Callan. Dressed in an oversized red shirt, 18-year-old Jolee Callan stands on top of a sheer cliff face and takes a photo of the beautiful view below of Pinhoti Trail in Cheaha State Park in Delta, Alabama. She had just hiked to this scenic location with her ex-boyfriend, Lauren Bunner, 20. Moments after this photo was taken, Lauren would shoot her in the head twice with a 22 caliber Ruger Bearcat revolver and throw her body off the cliffside. He would later call the police and say that he killed his ex-girlfriend, turning himself in. The pair had dated for 10 months before Jolee broke up with Lauren, as he was controlling and did not allow her to meet her friends. Despite the breakup, they kept in regular contact. They even had a dog together. 2 months after the breakup, Lauren invited Jolee to the hike where he would end up murdering her. Lauren Berner was sentenced to 52 years in prison. Tina Watson. 2 divers posed for a photo while scuba diving off the beautiful Queensland coast. Behind them, a stiff prune figure lays on the ocean floor. This would later be discovered to be Tina Watson, murdered by her husband. Tina Watson was visiting Queensland with her husband Gabe for their honeymoon. On the day of her death, they decided to dive into the popular and challenging wreck of SS Yongala. The two were underqualified for such a dive, and the dive company suggested a guided dive for the expedition, which they refused. During the dive, Tina ran into trouble and sunk nearly 100 feet, 30 meters to the ocean floor. Gabe claimed to have tried to save his wife, but due to an ear problem, he said he could not dive deep enough to help her. When she was brought aboard, she was pronounced dead after 40 minutes of CPR. Due to contradictory statements issued by Gabe and the fact that before their marriage, Gabe asked Tina to increase her life insurance and make him the sole beneficiary, foul play was suspected. He was charged with manslaughter charges in Queensland, but later had his charges dismissed when he was charged in his home country of the United States related to the planning of the murder. The dating game. This photo shows 2 people, a man and a woman, standing side by side. The photo is a still from a popular TV show called The Dating Game, which aired in the 1970s. The woman's name was Cheryl Bradshaw. The man beside her, Rodney James Alcala. At the time of his appearance, Rodney was in the middle of a murder spree. He committed 5 murders between 1977 and 1979. He would torment his victims by strangling them to unconsciousness, allowing them to regain consciousness and then repeating the process again and again before killing them. He was described as a killing machine. His exact murder count is unknown, but he was caught and convicted for 7 murders. He appeared on The Dating Game as a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. Between takes, you might find him skydiving or motorcycling. He won the date with the bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw. She, however, refused to go on a date with him, calling him creepy, who would later go on to murder 3 additional women after this appearance, and some speculate that the rejection was a driving factor.
Those were some creepy backstories of very innocent looking pictures. They filled me with joy and happiness, and I loved every second of it. I will have more for you soon, so stay loving the dark, as the darkness always follows.
Thank you all for listening. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you again soon. So make sure you subscribe, like and share. And until next time, take care. Bye.